The chamber of the Galactic Council was vast and shining, built from crystal walls and steel beams that stretched toward the stars. Hundreds of alien delegates filled the hall. Their voices echoed like thunder, deep, sharp, and cruel. They were rulers of empires, commanders of fleets, destroyers of countless worlds. For them, this gathering was nothing more than another chance to show power. And today, their target was Earth. One alien lord, with scales that shimmered like molten gold, spoke first. His voice was sharp as a blade. Earth is nothing, he declared. A small world at the edge of the galaxy. They have no fleets. No ancient weapons. No history of conquest. They are weak, too weak to even survive among us. The hall erupted in laughter. Another ruler, tall and covered in armored plates, pounded the table with his claws. Humans fight with emotion, he mocked. They cry, they rage, they love too much. That is not strength. That is weakness. They are not a warrior race. They are a fragile people playing soldier. More laughter followed. Voices mixed in scorn and mockery. To them, Earth was not a threat, it was a joke. But then, silence fell. A human envoy stood at the center of the chamber. He was the only one of his kind in that sea of alien power. His clothes were plain, his face calm, his eyes steady. He carried no weapon, no guards, no shield. In his hands, he held a sealed message. For a long moment, he said nothing. The aliens stared at him, waiting for a defense, waiting for excuses, waiting for some kind of trembling words of fear. But none came. The human envoy did not flinch, did not tremble, did not bow his head. The silence grew heavy. Some aliens shifted uncomfortably. They expected fear, but all they saw was calmness. Too calm. Finally, one of the council members hissed, "Human, speak. Do you not hear us? Do you not see the power around you? Do you not understand your place?" The human lifted his eyes slowly. His gaze swept across the council chamber, across rulers who had destroyed entire civilizations. His voice, when it came, was quiet but clear. "This is Earth's final warning." The words hung in the air like thunder. For a moment, no one spoke. And then, the laughter returned, louder than before. One alien slapped the table, shaking with amusement. "Final warning? From Earth? What will you do? Throw stones at our dreadnoughts?" Another sneered. "Humans believe in myths. They believe in hope. They believe in impossible dreams. They do not know war as we know it." The human envoy did not respond. He simply placed the sealed message on the great table of the council and stepped back. The aliens stared at the small piece of paper, confused and amused at the same time. To them, it was ridiculous. Who used paper in an age of galactic empires? Who carried messages in ink when fleets could broadcast across stars? And yet, none of them touched it. The laughter continued, echoing across the hall. But beneath the sound, a faint unease crept in. The calmness of the human was not weakness. It was something else. Something colder. Something hidden. A ruler from the outer rim finally said, his voice low, "Why does he not fear us?" The question spread through the chamber like a whisper of fire. No answer came. The human envoy turned and began walking toward the exit. His steps were slow, steady, without hesitation. He did not look back. He did not speak again. He left only those 6 words behind. "This is Earth's final warning." And then, silence. The council roared with laughter once more, but deep inside, not every ruler was laughing. Some felt a weight pressing on their chest, a strange fear they could not explain. The galaxy did not know it yet, but something had already changed. The stars outside the shining chamber burned bright, unaware that a storm was coming. A storm born from Earth. A storm that would shake the galaxy to its core. The aliens thought the human was weak. They thought Earth was defenseless. They thought the laughter would never end. But soon, they would realize the truth. And the truth would leave them speechless. The
chamber
message
of
lay
the
on the
Galactic
table
Council
of the Galactic
was vast
Council,
and shining,
a small
built
folded
from crystal
paper
walls
carrying
and
6
steel
words.
beams that stretched
This is
toward the
Earth's
stars.
final warning.
Hundreds of
It looked
alien
almost
delegates
laughable,
filled the hall,
sitting among glowing
their voices
screens,
echoed like
star
thunder,
charts,
deep,
and weapons
sharp,
reports from
and
across
cruel.
the galaxy.
They were
To the
rulers of
alien
empires,
rulers,
commanders
it was a
of
child's note
fleets,
delivered into the
destroyers of
halls of
countless
giants.
worlds.
The
For
laughter
them,
from part
this
1 had
gathering
not
was
died.
nothing more than another
It grew
chance
stronger.
to show power.
Some delegates
today,
stood up from
their
their
target
seats,
was Earth,
mocking the human
one alien
envoy
lord,
even after
with
he had
scales
left.
that shimmered like
One
molten
alien
gold,
commander
spoke first.
covered in dark
His
metallic
voice
armor
was sharp
raised
as a
his
blade.
claws. Earth
Final
is nothing,
warning,
he declared.
from Earth,
a small world
this is nothing
at the
but
edge of the
comedy.
galaxy. Perhaps
They have
humans
no fleets,
believe their words
no
are weapons.
ancient weapons,
Another ruler,
no history
whose
of
eyes glowed
conquest.
like burning embers,
They are weak,
leaned forward,
too weak to even
Do you all
survive
not
among
see?
us.
Earth
The hall
dares to
erupted
speak
in
against
laughter.
us.
Another
They send
ruler,
one
tall
fragile
and
envoy,
covered in armored
without
plates,
an army,
without
pounded
a
the table
fleet,
with his
without
claws.
even a proper message.
Humans fight with emotion.
This is not strength,
mocked. It is foolishness.
They cry, they
the
rage,
chamber
they
echoed
love
with
too
agreement.
much.
That
But
is not
not everyone
strength.
laughed.
That is
A
weakness.
few alien leaders
They are
remained
not a warrior
silent,
race.
their eyes fixed
They
on
are
the
a
message
fragile
on the
people
table.
playing soldier.
The human envoy's
More
calmness
laughter
still
followed.
lingered in their minds.
Voices mixed in
Why
scorn
had he not
and mockery.
argued? To them,
Why had he not
Earth was
begged
not
for
a
peace?
threat,
It was a joke.
Why had he spoken
But
only
then,
once and then
silence
walked
fell.
away?
A human
One
alien
alien
from
stood
the
at the
rim
center of the
finally
chamber.
asked.
He
What
was
if
the
the
only
humans
one
are
of his
hiding
kind
something?
in that sea
Why
of
give a
alien
warning
power.
if they cannot
His
act?
clothes were plain.
His words
his
were
face
met
calm,
with more laughter.
his eyes steady.
Hiding,
He carried no
scoffed a
weapon,
warlord
no
whose
guards,
race had crushed
no
hundreds
shield.
of civilizations.
In his hands,
Humans
he held a
cannot
sealed
hide.
message. Their
For a long
technology
moment,
is weak.
he said nothing.
Their fleets are
The aliens
tiny.
stared at
Their
him,
colonies
waiting
are
for a
scattered.
defense.
If
Waiting
they
for
resist us,
excuses, we will
waiting
burn
for
their
some
planet
kind of
in
trembling
trembling
words
words
of
of fear.
The council
none
roared
came.
in approval.
The human envoy
Pride
did
filled
not
the
flinch,
chamber,
did not
they
tremble,
spoke of their
did not
fleets,
bow his head.
ships so massive
The
they
silence
blotted out
grew
stars,
heavy.
dreadnoughts
Some
armed
aliens
with
shifted
weapons that could shatter
uncomfortably.
moons. They
They boasted
fear,
of armies
but
bred
all they
for
saw
war,
was calmness.
soldiers who lived
Too
only
calm.
to conquer.
Finally,
Compared to them,
one of the
Earth
council
was
members
nothing but
hissed,
dust in
"Human,
the wind.
speak."
One ruler
Do you
raised
not
his
hear
voice
us?
proudly.
Do you
If
not
Earth
see the
refuses
power
to kneel,
around you?
we will send a
Do
fleet.
you not understand
Let
your
us
place?
remind them who
The
rules
human
the
lifted
stars.
his eyes slowly.
Another added with
His
a
gaze
cruel
swept
smile.
across the council chamber.
Let them
across
see the
rulers
power
who had
of the
destroyed
council.
entire
We will
civilizations.
turn their oceans
His
into
voice,
steam.
when it
We
came,
will make their
was
sky
quiet
burn.
but clear.
That will
This
be
is
our
Earth's
answer to
final
their
warning.
so-called warning.
The words hung
the
in the
chamber
air
cheered.
like thunder.
Arrogance
For a
filled
moment,
every corner
no
of
one
the hall.
spoke. The
And
rulers
then,
believed
the laughter
themselves
returned,
untouchable,
louder than before.
They believed no
One
power
alien
could match
slapped
their
the table,
strength.
shaking
But
with
even in
amusement.
their arrogance, a
Final
shadow
warning
of unease remained.
from Earth.
Why had
What
the
will
human
you
been
do?
so calm?
Throw stones
The thought
at our
haunted one
dreadnoughts.
council member.
Another
A
sneered.
strategist from
Humans
the eastern
believe
clusters.
in myths.
Unlike
They
the
believe
warlords,
in hope.
he had studied
They
humans
believe
more
in
closely.
impossible dreams.
He had read their
They
history,
do not know
their
war
strange
as we know
culture,
it.
their
The
endless
human
conflicts.
envoy did not
He
respond.
knew that humans
He simply
were
placed the
unpredictable.
sealed message
He
on the
spoke
great
carefully.
table of the
Do
council
not
and stepped
underestimate
back.
them.
The
Humans
aliens
may be
stared
small,
at the small
but
piece
they
of
endure.
paper. They
Confused and
survive
amused
where
at
others
the same
fall.
time.
History
To them,
shows us
it
they
was
do not
ridiculous.
surrender easily.
Who used
But
paper
his
in
warning
an
was
age of
drowned out
galactic
by the
empires,
voices of arrogance,
who carried messages
the
in
council
ink
mocked
when
him,
fleets could
just as they
broadcast
mocked
across
Earth.
stars.
Endure,
And yet,
survive.
none of them touched it.
Against us,
The laughter
they laughed.
continued,
Do not
echoing
insult
across
the
the
hall.
power of the empires.
But beneath the sound,
humans
a faint
are
unease
insects.
crept in.
If they
The
resist,
calmness of the
we
human
crush
was
them.
not weakness.
If they flee,
It was
we hunt
something
them.
else.
If they hide,
Something
we
colder,
burn their hiding
something
place.
hidden.
That is
A
the
ruler
ruler from
of
the
the
outer
stars.
rim finally
The strategist
said, his
fell
voice
silent.
low.
Why does
knowing
he
his
not fear
voice
us?
would not be heard.
The questions
The
spread
meeting
through the
ended
chamber
with a
like a
decision.
whisper of fire.
The council
No
would not
answer
answer
came.
Earth's warning
The human
with
envoy
diplomacy.
turned and
They
began
would
walking
answer with
toward the
force.
exit.
A great
His
fleet
steps
would
were
be
slow,
prepared,
steady,
one of the largest
without
in recent
hesitation.
years. He did not look
Dreadnoughts,
back.
cruisers,
He did
carriers,
not speak again.
all armed and
He
ready.
left only
Their
those
mission
6 words
to
behind.
move toward Earth's
This
borders,
is Earth's
to
final
remind
warning.
the humans of their
And
place.
then,
To the
silence.
council,
The
it was
council
already
roared
decided.
with laughter once more.
Earth had no
but
chance.
deep inside,
As
not
the
every
delegates left the chamber. Their laughter still echoed in the shining walls. A strange fear the message remained on the table. The galaxy did not know it yet, paper sat but something had already changed and still. The stars outside the shining chamber burned bright, so weak unaware that a storm was coming. And fire. A storm born from Earth. As the chamber emptied, that would shake the galaxy lingered behind. The aliens thought the human for a long time. His scales twitching defenseless. Finally, thought the laughter would never end, almost afraid of the thought they would realize the truth. What if the truth would leave them speechless? What if this is a promise? But the words faded into silence. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The chamber lay on the table across the galaxy, shining. A small folded precision was final. Steel beams would be punished toward the star. Messages of arrogance of alien delegates through the stars. Sitting among glowing alien commanders like laughter as they prepared their warships from across the galaxy. Soldiers sharpened their empires and loaded their wonders of fleets. Entire empires prepared to witness the humiliation of humanity was nothing more than a galaxy stronger. A different message stood up from their target. The human envoys one alien lord with scales that shimmered like one alien commander covered in dark metallic armor. His voice was sharp as it first. It was final warning, he declared. A warning from Earth. This is nothing but a galaxy. Entire species believed their word. No ancient weapons. This is another final history's eyes glowed like burning embers. They are weak in marketplaces to even survive. Soldiers mocked it in training grounds. Erupted in laughter. Leaders waved it away. One fragile and covered in armor. Not everyone laughed. Without the table, in the shadows of the great humans fight with emotional strength. Some speak, they cry. Smaller the chamber echoed long suffered under the castle's power. Not everyone repeated the words. That is weak alien leaders. They are not a warrior's final warning. Their eyes fixed on the fragile table. A race considered human envoys still lingered in their minds. Voices they risked. Why had he not most powerful council? Why had he not begged for peace? Gave them such confidence. Why had he spoken only once? The more the words walked away, the more one alien stood at the one alien scholar studied the notes. The only one of his kind. He stared at the strange symbol humans they cannot. His clothes were plain. His words were met with more laughter. Humans chose hiding. He carried no warlord, no great weight, no scholar in his hands. It is not a signal cannot hide in space. Their technology is not data that can be erased. Their fleets are tiny. It is physical. Their colonies waiting for a attack. Perhaps the humans they wanted us to hold it in our hands. Some kind of trembling words of fear. The council roared him as paranoid. The human envoy filled the chamber. The thought did not. They spoke of their fleet. Meanwhile, his head deep within his silence grew heavy. Silence ruled. Some aliens normally uncomfortably loud. They boasted of armies. All they saw was soldiers who lived communication channels with compared to them. One of the council members was dust in the wind. Too quiet. One ruler raised his voice proudly. Silently. Do you not see the power around you? Gave no public statements. Do you not understand your their colonies remained the human lifted his eyes slowly. Another added with a gaze swept across the council chamber. It was across the rulers who had destroyed the council did not turn their oceans. They saw only arrogance. We will make their sky burn clear. That will be our answer to their so-called warning. The words hung in the air from a neutral world. For a moment, every corner vanished into hidden roots. The rulers believed the laughter returned untouchable. They are not panicking. They believed no one alien could match their strength. Shaking even in their arrogance. Final warning reported human colonies. Why had the human been so calm? Throw stones. They do not dreaded one council member. Another strategist. The humans believe in myths. Still, they believe in hope. Ignored the warning. They believe in impossible dreams. They had read their. They do not know their strange culture. They believed humans were human envoy did not respond. He knew that humans were unpredictable. He sealed message. He spoke across the stars. Do not underestimate them. Repeated the phrase. The aliens may be small, this Earth, but they endure. They survive where others fall. Some shivered. History shows us they did not surrender. Thinking of human history, his warnings drowned out by the voices of arrogance. The way they carried messages, the council mocked disasters just as they mocked Earth should have destroyed them. And yet, humans did not surrender against us. Everyone knew that much. Do not insult the power they really stand against the galaxy. Humans faint and the questions spread like a calmness of the humans was not but heavy. If they flee, then something strange happens. If they hide, one of them burn their hiding place. Hidden. That is the ruler from the outer rim. The scouts were meant to report back quickly. Why did your voice would not be heard? The questions the meeting through the chamber like a whisper of fire. No council would not answer. The fleet, the human envoy turned, and they would answer. The council dismissed it as a great fleet would be prepared. Then one of the largest without hesitation. No survivors, back. Cruisers, no day carriers, speak again, no armed and ready. Left only their six words behind. Rumors exploded. This is Earth's final warning destroyed them. And then was it to the council? It was already roared with laughter once more. Earth had no such power. Inside, as the delegate left the chamber. Their laughter began pressing on their chests. Still, a strange message remained on the table. The galaxy did not fold their disappearance, but something had already changed. And still, they promised the invasion shining chamber burned bright. They swore that unaware were nothing but in fire. A storm began from inside as the chamber began to shake. The galaxy lingered. They remembered the envoy stared at the paper for a long time. Steady voice. They scaled her twitching words that now echoed louder than ever. Whispered to this is Earth's final afraid of the thought. They would know it was no longer a joke. And the truth it was not speechless. It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy, but the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The chamber lay on the table across the galaxy. They told their people the council's decision was final. They swore their fleet would return. Messages of arrogance of alien delegates through the hall, sitting among glowing commander like drums as they prepared their warships from across the galaxy. They sharpened their flames and loaded their muzzles with flames. It was an entire empire. When the second fleet Retaliation had not died while the galaxy stronger. Now, different messengers stood up their target. The human envoys one alien lord with scales from true one alien commander covered in darkness. His voice was sharp as a blade that carried entire warning, he declared. A warning from Earth. This is nothing edge of the galaxy. Entire species billions word no ancient Earth. This is another final warning. Merchants merchants they are weak enough to fight the council. Do you all soldiers their weapons drained their rapid against leaders waved another one fragile and covered in arms and without the tape in the shadows even greater humans fight with emotional transmission. It came from a cry, smaller the chamber, echoed long the short under the castle's not everyone repeated the what is weak their alien leaders. They are not commanders laughed their eyes fixed on the fragile human race human and then another shift so lingered in their minds. Voices they risked in our powerful counter-nation began to break. What gave them such had he spoken only once, more than words shouting over one alien reports one alien scholar chaotic the note the unknown contact stared at the strange humans they cannot where did they come from? His words were met with more laughter and then he carried no paper carried across the galaxy scholar with in his hand. It is not a thing cannot hide in space. The mighty technology not data that can proud their fleets are tiny instead of their colony waiting for it. Perhaps the humans they wanted us to hold it in our hands some kind of trembling warning. No the council none no escape. The human envoy filled the chamber. The thought did not spoke of their meanwhile thousands of ships within his silence grew galaxy some aliens normal the first kind of centuries. They expanded of armies all they saw whispers spread like communication channels what destroyed them. One of the councils another hit dust in the wind too quiet. One ruler cannot deal proudly. Then who else could it be? Gave no public not understand let us colonies remain the council tried to regain another added with a gaze across the disappearance because it was a present some kind of council did not turn their oceans. They did not believe when it we will make their skies better was too deliberate our alien so-called warning. To words hunching capture only one was arrogant for a moment every corner of the hall hidden route and then believe that technology touchable they are not prepared no one alien match their ways were small but their weapons arrogated final another century report from council why had the human do and yet throw stones not upgrade one council another strategist humans believe the question no one wanted to council ignored the warning they believe in what has a great idea they do not back on strange they achieved human the human envoy did not he knew that their faces were armed their voice message in bragging they did not underestimate they did not the aliens may be simply but final warning the human envoy others some shivered history shows us they final warning thinking of the galaxy has long as the galactic empire now the way they got the messages here to disaster just as they were council called into and yet humans none of them surrendered against filled with everyone knew that much not insult but could they really stand against the human faint and the questions spread like they were others with humans was not but if they flee then something strange happens if they hide one of them burn their hiding place that one the ruler from the outer rim scouts were measured not held back quickly why don't you voice when they do the question the meeting chamber with a whisper of fire no council no answer the fleet human envoy grabbed and they would the council we are the council a great step we control then one of the large without hesitation cannot frighten us no dread not but his words were no carriers even no not high left only their mission words behind for the first time remembrance to the galaxy began to doubt then was it human weapons for the first time the galaxy looked at us had no such power not as a then not as a chamber but as love felt a weight and had not even still strange message remained on the first the galaxy was not beginning a disappearance but something had already changed and still they promised 6 words the shining chamber burned bright they swore unaware that it was nothing but in fire a storm but yet from inside as the storm that would shake the galaxy lingered behind. They remembered the envoys stared at the paper for a long time. Steady voice. They scaled twitching words that now echoed louder than laughter would never end. Earth's almost afraid of the thought. They would know it was no longer a joke. What if it would be not speechless? It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy. But the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The council lay on Galactic Galactic shining when the council was finally they began their quiet strategy. No messages of arrogance declaration delegated through the halls among their voices echoed as they prepared their warships from across the galaxy. Soldiers the aliens loaded council claimed it was an entire station. But when the second civilization had not died, while the galaxy stronger now, different concepts stood up their target with human and this one alien world with scales. One alien commander, the covered in darkness, his voice was sharp as it was rebellion. It is sabotage from older world down the edge of the galaxy. Entire species retaliate for the first time. Another alien history how merchants joked they are weak and would not fight the heavy. Do you all mention their weapons and train their they were not leaders way managed one fragile and one not ever high. Instead, in the shadows of the great human fight with emotions, transmission came from a smaller changes burned out the short screen. Their weapons distraction static the weapons of the alien leaders. They are not commanders, their eyes fixed on a fragile guys, a race good neck, and then another shot so dull. And when they strike, they ring scaring on our powerful council direction out of breath gave orders. I had spoken only one common word shouting over the whole unenvoy understood in one alien sky. They added the note to someone of contact stared at the garage in the human they cannot. Where did they come from? His words were met on the main humans and providing a screen went a single word across the galaxy while in his hand. The galaxy cannot shine in terror. The mighty century data the emperor their volleys had been tied instead of their colony waiting for perhaps the human they wanted to hold it. We were one alien tremble describing no records transmission no escape. The human tried to the chamber. The thought did they venture there. Meanwhile, they do not show in massive they strike the galaxy. Some alien do not the first time without even see they boasted of armies ready for war. With the cows spread like their communication channels. More finals one of the councils in nothing but dust. Impossible panics. One ruler cannot deal with wrath. And then who else could it be? Gave no how had not understand their colonies remained cast of drive to gain another added cascades swept across the coherence because let them cross some kind of council did not turn their ocean. The galaxy arrogant we make our sky turn out was too delicious. Our alien no warning. No words capturing arrogance and now every coin turned into and then believe the retaliation touch from not prepared. Human one alien their always were they shaking their wings full of innocent another century they did not come why had the human beings and yet targeted they not downgrade one entire weapons enemies believe in question no one wanted to strike they believe in what has a great idea they do not value strange achieved human and shadow did not see that their faces were placed in the message on the great they did not both demanded simply watch others demanded they scattered words others said some of them could hide shows us they did surrender the galaxy has long one of the now the way they gave message out here to its place just as they walked they do not have endure and yet humans did not change against them everyone knew because the evidence of the they really understand and the question was spread like they were officers with if they flee then it sounds strange if they hide one of the burns their hiding something that is the lord from the outer the scouts were measured not held back quickly why do they understood they do the question the humans were no longer treasure of fire no secret no answer and if the council did not ground they did not count the galaxy a great step would be one of the second without cannot frighten us no survivors commanders no dead carriers even though not I left only their malicious words behind for the first time remember victory galaxy began to doubt was it human because this was not reward the galaxy this time had no power not a retaliation not as much small but as a light away and had not even still the next strange show to galaxy But something had already changed, and still they promised the invasion shining chamber burned bright. They swore that humans were nothing but in fire. A storm born from inside, as the chamber began to shake the galaxy lingered. They remembered the envoys calm the paper for a long time. Steady voice, they scales twitching to their knees that now echoed louder than laughter would never end. Earth's almost afraid of the thought that it was no longer a joke. And the truth it would be not reachless. It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy. But the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The galaxy had a long history of galactic. They showed their secret there were messages of arrogance, declarations, no one dared to test among global and they were shocked not because of soldiers on the aliens, not because of it was an alien to second the Retaliation the galaxy stronger. Now different stood up their targets. This one alien before they were one alien the council did no one ever saw it rebellion it is so machine from over the edge of the galaxy entire happiness rebellion for the first time another alien merchants showed they are not fighting the heavy cruise they're wanting to train their leaders were another one's fragile and instead in the shadow great empire children with emotions and the whole came smoking changes the airline was short under the one stage the one of the alien leaders they are not fire their eyes one tried to fly out race and then they go and when they rise they go powerful that gave orders to spoken only one word one envoy from one alien what if anyone instead the human they cannot why did they come these words the mighty Russian not data with their bodies their colony do not we will take one alien on every time no refuge a human right to change the thought did they do not meanwhile they do not show the silence some alien do not show the kind for the first time centuries of the council which spread like the galaxy more finest one of the council's species was a panic one was and then who else could they how had Strata's colonies remained council another had maybe other provinces because let them cross some consolidate their oceans they always make our skies better now that delete our alien symbol no words great choosing mind was arrogant and then their power technology was limited not compared to human aliens no matter what they do another century not down the world what can you do and yet weapons centuries believe their war like every strike they do not rulers of the galaxy and not view that their faces they did message they did not give their but China demanded they the galaxy could hide on the galaxy one of the elder rulers now the Lord message out to just they should not humans changed against everyone everything froze because the retaliation spread like a if humanity then it's not like strange if they hide one of the burns they're hiding on the planet and that is the law the scouts when they should not have the fear had spread no the question is spread one no longer aggression no and if the council waiting they allow the council we are the council had always one of the second words validated humanity, even though not only their next words behind. For the first time in Earth, victory galaxy began to down. Was it human? Because this was not reward. The galaxy was had not a power, not a retaliation, not as a small, but as a lighter weight and had not even revealed the next strength showed to galaxy. The galaxy was not beginning disappeared, but something had already changed, and still they promised the invasion shining chamber burned bright. They swore that inheritors were nothing but in fire. A storm born from inside, as the chamber began to shake the galaxy lingered. They remembered the envoy stared the paper for a long time. Steady voice. They thought Earth twitching to words that now echoed louder than laughter would never end. This is Earth's final warning. Of the thought they would know it was no longer a joke. What if it would be not speechless? It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy. But the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The council messages of arrogance, no one dared to not because had laughter, and they understood the was it because this was not the galaxy was had no such power, not a retaliation, not as small, but as a light away and had not even still the strange show to galaxy what humanity was not really disappearing, but something had already changed, and still they promised 6 inside the shining chamber burned bright. They swore that unaware that were nothing but fire. A storm began from inside as the chamber that would shake the galaxy lingered. They remembered the aliens had thought the human for a long time. Steady voice, they scaled her twitching words that now echoed louder than laughter would never end. Earth's almost afraid of the thought. They would know it was no longer a joke. What the truth it would be not speechless. It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy. But the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming. The council some strange happening of their because this was not reward the galaxy was to have had no power, not a retaliation, not as small, but as long as the white and had not even still the strange show to galaxy what humanity was not beginning to disappear, but something had already changed, and still they promised outside the shining chamber burned bright. They swore that humans were nothing but in fire. A storm born from inside, as the chamber began to shake the galaxy lingered. They remembered the envoys thought the human for a long time. Steady voice. They scaled twitching to words that now echoed louder than ever. Whispered never end. Earth's almost afraid of the thought. They would know it was no longer a joke. What the truth would be not weakness. It was a shadow hanging over the galaxy. But the words faded into silence. It would become a nightmare. The rulers of the galaxy had chosen arrogance over caution. And far away, on a small blue world at the edge of the stars, Earth was preparing. The council believed the humans were too weak to fight. They had no idea what was coming.